2022, there's still people in this world that haven't played The Last of Us. Whether it be The Last of Us, The Last of Us Remastered, or even the newly released The Last of Us Part 1. Now, how do I know that? Well, I'm one of them. Well, I was one of them. Now you can ask yourself, how in the is it possible that a person hasn't played a game that's been out since 2013? And I say to that, I never had a PS3, you rich bastard. Okay? Excuse me, we were poor over here. I'm in my 30s now. That means I grew up in the era of you get one console every chance it comes out. Okay? Christmas, birthdays come around, you're not getting an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a Switch. It's not happening. Okay? You get one thing. So when we grew up, we had the NES. Then when the next generation came around, we had the SNES. Then when the next one came around, we had the N64. And then right before the GameCube, we actually had the PS1. And not because it was the family's, but it was because of my older brother. He got that. So as you can see, we was pretty much a Nintendo family. We didn't really get to play all of the systems. So when that generation came around, we had to make a choice. PlayStation 3, Xbox 360. The PS3 was sleek, but it was intimidating. It had internet that was free, but it sucked. The Xbox 360, it had Xbox Live. Everybody was on Xbox Live at this time, playing our sports games, playing your Call of Duties. It just worked. And yeah, it cost money, but it was worth it. Again, you get the PS3, you get free internet, but what do you really get with it? PlayStation Home? Like, who wanted to play PlayStation Home? Nobody. So I missed out on the complete wave of hype that came with The Last of Us. Now, I did have a PS4 and a PS4 Pro, because by that time I had a really nice job. I could afford some things, but like I said, I missed the wave of hype. So because I missed the hype, when I saw The Last of Us Remastered, I was just like, it's another Naughty Dog game like Uncharted, which is another series I never really got to play. But since then, we had The Last of Us Part 2 come out, which I have not fully played through. I played through the beginning, and then I stopped. I was busy with my job I had at the time, and I saw all of the blowback from the fans, and because I didn't have that investment from playing the first one, it just kind of sat to the side. So what happens? 2022, they make an announcement, The Last of Us Part 1. Fully remastered for the PS5. I have a PS5, and I never got a chance to play it, so I figured this would be the best way for me to do it. All new graphics, all new mechanics, the AI is supposedly smarter, so I went ahead, I dropped my $70. I hate saying that out loud. And I went ahead and jumped into it live on stream on YouTube. And it was an experience I have yet to fully grasp, because it has really been that amazing of a game. So what is The Last of Us? The Last of Us follows Joel, a single dad somewhere in Texas, Dallas, Austin, something like that. I'm not fully sure because, there wasn't a lot of black people, so I know it wasn't Houston. He has a daughter who's witty as hell. She's cool. She gives him gifts, and you start off the game actually controlling her. But the thing is, you probably shouldn't get attached to her. We look on the news and we see there's some type of explosion outside our window, and the whole city is in chaos, and apparently there's this virus that's spreading and turning everybody into manic zombie monsters. That's the best way to describe it. As we go further in the game, they'll be called infecteds, and the ones that were infected even worse and have their heads deformed, they'll make a clicking sound. We call them clickers. The ones who are completely deformed and turn into big fat Roseanne Barr looking bamas, we're gonna call those bloaters. But either way, that's happening in the city, and we're trying to escape with her and Joel and Joel's brother. I forgot Joel's brother's name right now. We finally get out into the fields, and an officer finds us. And you think, oh, officer, they're gonna help us. No, a cab. He tries to shoot us. He does end up hitting Sarah, and Sarah dies. Joel lives, and we have a time skip. Joel is now living in post-apocalyptic America, now as a smuggler, moving items between different trade camps and cities, and he gets presented with a job having to transport a little girl all the way to this group called the Fireflies because they believe that she could be the key to saving all of humanity. Now, what could make her that, important? Why is she the second coming of Jesus as far as they're concerned? Well, it turns out she was bitten by an infected 2 weeks ago and no effects. She doesn't end up infected. She turns out to be completely immune, meaning her blood could possibly come up with a vaccine to stop the disease and save everyone. Now, I'm not here to tell the entire story of the game. There's a million retrospective videos and reviews out there that can do that way better than me and probably care more about doing that than I would. This is here just to be a short recap of my experience with the game. This is what I do know. This game is worth your time. I don't care if you go back and get The Last of Us Remastered because you don't feel like spending $70, or if you go ahead and get the latest version because, in my opinion, it probably is the best way to play it. But make sure at some time in your life you get a chance to play The Last of Us Part 1. Don't be like me. Don't wait 10 years to finally play this game when it's been sitting right under your nose since 2013. And why? Because I said so. What, you need more of a reason than that? See, this is what I don't be liking about y'all, man. See, I'll be trying to... Now that I've played The Last of Us Part 1, I get it. I totally understand now. If you know me, you know I'm all about RPGs and story games. Games that make me feel something. Telltale's The Walking Dead, Life is Strange, Detroit Become Human. Why? Because it makes me feel. I'm working through years of unlearning toxic masculinity and putting a wall up when it comes to feeling things, so this actually helps with that process. Whether that's a heartfelt and well-written story, or killing off a side character that you thought you were about to build a bond with and they're just snatched away, or even just making you question where your own morals lie because of a decision they made you choose, which may or may not be paired with a QuickTime event. They go out of their way to make you feel, and that's something that I feel is something only a great video game can give you. You can watch a movie, and no matter what, during that movie, the ending is going to be the ending because the director wrote it that way, and that's the ending they wanted to come to. But when you have a video game, they put you in the driver's seat to getting to that ending. Nothing can match that feeling. You feel the pain of Sarah when the bullet hits her and she loses her life slowly for no reason. You feel the difficulty of Joel trying not to attach himself to Ellie because he knows what losing her will do to him because he's been through it already with Sarah. You feel the fear of Ellie when she fights with David inside that restaurant. You know how Ellie feels when she speaks about being abandoned and all of her friends dying over the years, and that she needs Joel. You feel the hopelessness of the world around you as you go through all these barren cities and broken down hospitals and just lifeless areas. The only form of life still even around there is just overgrown grass and trees and shrubs. Everything's been left for dead, and yet you're surviving walking through it. You feel the naive warmth of something as simple as seeing a giraffe walking through that city. Oh, and I can't forget, you feel the absolute terror of a bloater rushing you in a small corner of a building only to rip your skull in half by each top and bottom of your jaw. You feel that because you're the one in control there. I can't even watch the death scenes half the time. If you go look back at the VODs of my streams, it's like, why did I do that? Why did I let Joel get murdered in Mortal Kombat fashion? How could I allow Joel's skull to be turned into a fortune cookie? The ending of the game is one of heavy debate. It leaves a lot of people conflicted. And if it's not a lot of people, it definitely left me conflicted. I'm not one of those horrible people that ruins the game for people that have never played it. But what I'll say is, because I know the ending of The Last of Us 1 now, and because I know the beginning of The Last of Us 2, I am not prone to being upset by how The Last of Us 2 started now. Again, that was a game that I walked into, played the beginning of. I saw what happened. I stopped playing, and it had nothing to do with what happened. I was just busy. But when I look at that now in retrospect, what happened in The Last of Us Part 2 kind of made sense. I mean, you can only do so much bad before it catches up to you. Now, if you don't know what I'm talking about, you're going to have to go play the game yourself, because I'm not going to give away that spoil. Just know that all actions have consequences. That's a lesson I've had to learn in my own life, and unfortunately, it applies to video games as well. But I respect Naughty Dog so much more for even acknowledging that and acting upon it, because as much as people want to treat video games as escapes, if we're making a game that's supposed to be based on what could really happen in real life, we got to take those risks. Just for clarification, this isn't a review. This is just me talking about my experience with the game. Maybe it's more of a first impression, even though I've beat the game, so I don't know if it can really fall under first impression, but it's my impression of the game. It's what I thought about The Last of Us Part 1. Am I going to give this a rating out of a 1 out of 10 or 5 stars? Probably not. All I can say is I do not regret spending my money to play that game, and I can wholeheartedly 100% tell you that you should go out and do the same if you have any interest in it. Play it, immerse in it, enjoy it, or not. Maybe you'll hate it. If so, get your refund. But I still think it's worth giving it a try. That being said, man, please be on the lookout for more impression videos coming soon. Maybe there'll be some full reviews out there. Maybe I'll think about doing that. Right now, I just want to give my thoughts on games, though. If you ever want to catch me playing some of the games that will end up with videos here on the channel, be sure to follow me on Twitch, twitch.tv/RobRegalYT. I will be going live there on the weekends. If I can sneak a little bit of a stream in during the week, I'll do that. But definitely look out for me on the weekends where I'll be playing games that I plan to do videos about. Also, if you want to support me on a monthly basis, feel free to check out my Patreon, patreon.com/RobRegal. The $10 tier on Patreon does include a perk that allows you to get a shout out at the end of my videos, like this one right here. So if you want to feel involved with the community or with the process of what's going on here, feel free to join up and join the Discord, where we're always chilling, talking about games, talking about life. Very chill vibes. Please do not come in there ruining the vibes. You will get booted. We will kick you out. But other than that, man, this is just a test run just to see how I feel about making these discussion type videos, giving my thoughts on games. You know, let me know how y'all feel. Be sure to leave a comment down below. Hit that like button. If you really enjoy your time here, be sure to hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Y'all be easy, not sleazy. Make sure you underdig on them overlaying on the underlay, as my man Pro would say. And we out this thing, man. Peace. Copyright strikes, I really don't like copyright.